Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to crack open one of the most influential psychology books ever written to get to know the two very different characters that are living inside your mind.
All right, let's just jump right in with a quick puzzle. Take a look at the question on the screen. And hey, don't overthink it. Just go with the very first answer that pops into your head. You got it?
So, did you think 10 cents? If you did, you're definitely not alone. It's the intuitive, plausible-sounding answer that just springs to mind for most people. But it's actually not the right one.
What just happened inside your brain is the key to this whole thing. This little puzzle brilliantly pulls back the curtain on a fascinating psychodrama, a story with two main characters that are constantly interacting inside your head.
The correct answer is actually 5 cents. You know, a 5-cent ball plus a bat that costs $1 more than that, so $1.05, adds up to $1.10. To get to that answer, you have to actively resist that first easy answer and engage your brain in some deliberate, effortful math. And that tension, right there, is our whole story.
So, let's officially meet the two characters responsible for that mental tug-of-war. The author, Daniel Kahneman, gives them pretty simple names, System 1 and System 2. And as you can see, they're complete opposites.
First up, you've got System 1. This is the star of the show, the hero of the story. It operates automatically, it's super quick, and it takes almost no effort. It's your gut reaction. It's the part of you that instantly knows 2 plus 2 is 4, or that can detect hostility in someone's voice. It's basically a machine for jumping to conclusions.
And then there's System 2. Now this is the conscious reasoning self that you probably identify with, the one you think of as you. It's the part that chooses, concentrates, and works through problems. But here's the catch. System 2 is lazy. It takes real mental energy to get it going, so a lot of the time it's perfectly happy to just go along with whatever stories System 1 feeds it.
And what's really interesting is how Kahneman himself talks about this. He doesn't cast the fast, intuitive System 1 as the villain. No, he calls it the hero. It's the source of our impressions, our feelings, and often our brilliant creative insights. System 1 is the one generating all the raw material, and the careful System 2 is just the supporting character that's supposed to step in and check the work when needed.
But this partnership, this team-up between a fast, impulsive hero and a slow, kind of lazy controller, that's where things go wrong. This is what leads to predictable, systematic errors in our thinking. We call these cognitive biases.
Let's see this in action with a classic visual illusion, the Mueller-Lyer illusion. Just look at it. Your eyes, which are pure System 1, are telling you one thing, loud and clear. The bottom line is longer. It's not even a question, right?
Except they're not. They are the exact same length, and this is a perfect illustration of the whole dynamic. Your System 1 creates this powerful, unavoidable impression, and even now, even after your System 2 knows the truth, you still can't stop your System 1 from seeing the illusion. You just have to learn to distrust your first impression.
Okay, let's try a cognitive illusion this time. What's your gut feeling here? For most people, your brain immediately starts thinking of words that start with K. Kite, kitchen, kangaroo. It just feels like there must be way more of those.
But again, that feeling is wrong. There are actually about 3 times more English words with K in the third position. So what's going on? It's a mental shortcut called the availability heuristic. Your System 1 assumes that because words starting with K are easier to recall, they must be more common. What's easy for our brains to remember often feels more true, even when it's not.
And a crucial point here is that this kind of thing happens all the time, not just with word games. Our fast-thinking System 1 is constantly swapping hard questions for much easier ones, and our lazy System 2 often doesn't even notice the switch. So instead of tackling a complex problem, we just answer based on how we feel about it in the moment.
This has some pretty serious real-world consequences, especially when it comes to our perception of risk. Dramatic events, like plane crashes or shark attacks, get tons of media coverage, right? So they become highly available in our minds. That's why we often fear accidents more than we fear strokes, even though strokes are far, far more common cause of death. Our fears get shaped by vivid stories, not by cold, hard statistics.
So if our minds are filled with all these little glitches, what are we supposed to do? Well, the goal isn't to get rid of the heroic but flawed System 1. It's more about learning when to call in the slow, careful System 2 for a second opinion.
So how do we actually do this? Well, it's a skill, and it starts with just recognizing the signs, noticing when you're facing a big decision or just relying on a quick gut feeling. The next step is simply to slow down. Resist that urge to just accept the first thought that pops into your head. And then you have to question your intuitions. Actively ask yourself, wait, is my System 1 just swapping an easy question for the hard one here?
That's your cue to deliberately engage System 2, to invest the mental effort to check the facts and think logically. It's not about ignoring your gut. It's about knowing when to double-check its work.
Ultimately, understanding this internal drama is what gives us agency. Our intuitions, our gut feelings, they're just the first draft of reality, a story written quickly by System 1. But we have a System 2, the conscious self, whose job it is to pick up the red pen and edit. And so the question this whole idea leaves us with is, what kind of editor are you going to be?